Last year, you guys go over to Fort Worth, get a very emotional overtime win over TCU. Where did that win rank for you in terms of the games that you've won since you've been at SMU?
I would say that's my favorite game that we've won so far since I've been here. Personally, that was a good game for me. I made some plays that I'll remember for a long time. As a team, we really came together, and it feels good when a team does that. And I had my family in town, so it made for a good weekend.
Is that even more enjoyable or satisfying than the bowl win?
Well, I think the whole experience of the Hawaii Bowl thus far has been, just amazing. I think it's just because of Hawaii, but as far as games go, I think that was my favorite.
All right, assuming that everybody watching this has never played in a game like last year's win over TCU, what did that feel like when the clock is down, the final play is over, SMU fans are rushing the field? Is there any way you can describe that in sort of a non-football term, what that emotion felt like for you?
Yeah, I don't really know. I think I would describe it like going to recess as a little kid. We didn't know what to do. We just started running around. I think that picture in the paper pretty much described it. And you guys running off the sideline. I think Coach Hill got run over by a player as we're all running out. But it was just awesome. Having the fans rush the field at their house. It's not a team that we like very much. It's our crosstown rival. So being with their house and being able to celebrate on their field is always fun to do, and we got to make sure they're not allowed to do that here.
On a week-to-week basis, what's your pregame routine like on Saturdays, and is it any different when you have an intense rival game coming up?
I'm pretty focused, no matter what game it is. If you're not focused, that's when injuries and you can get other people injured. So, I really sleep a lot in the hotels. So, Friday when we get there, I'll hang out with Billy Dougal, my roommate, and we'll watch some TV and we'll go to bed. But on Saturdays we'll nap as much as we can until game time, so we're fresh. But we're pretty focused. Pre-game meal hits. You're all tuned in till kickoff.
Is the week leading up to TCU game any different for you in terms of your interaction with your friends, walking to class, the way other students talk to you? Does it feel different to you?
I don't think it's different for us, because we've been taking every game, one step at a time, and the next game is always the biggest. But I think overall around campus, you see the shirts, you see the signs, you see the billboards. I know there's a building downtown that has something on it, but I think just the more the community hype around it kind of gets you going.
What'd you do with your weekend off last weekend?
I put a dent in my couch. I didn't move. It was a good weekend off. I watched as much football as I possibly could have. I'm sure my girlfriend wanted to dump me. We didn't do anything. The one time I had off, and she probably wants to do stuff, and that was my downtime. We can do things, on Sundays after the games, but this weekend was mine, so I didn't do one thing. I might have walked the dog. It was the most active thing I did.
Last year when you beat TCU, you ran the ball pretty effectively, but the play people remember from you was when you went down on that kickoff, stripped the ball away from Greg McCoy, and Chris Parks jumped on it for a touchdown. Do you envision this year's game coming down to special teams or a sort of unusual big play like that again?
Well, TCU is one of those teams where we have to show up on special teams and make plays like those. They're always ranked, top 25 in the country on most of their special teams. They got fast returners. They all kind of are a very disciplined bunch when it comes to the assignments, and they're well coached. So for that play, at the time it happened, it was really momentum. It helped our momentum because it was coming out in the second half. We just opened it up like that. So big plays that aren't expected can always change the momentum of a game. I think that really helped us.
TCU always seems to have linebackers who pile up a bunch of tackles. And just like usual, their leading tackler so far this year is a new linebacker, Joel Hasley. The guys they've had the last couple of years, Tanner Brock, Tank Carter, are gone. How does Hasley compare to those two when you've studied him on film after watching their first couple of games?
Yeah, they always have a good defense. I think that's I give them a lot of credit. They do the scheme well. They know what they're doing out there. They fly to the ball. They play tough to the end. Last year we had them down pretty good. And they just kept going, and they slowed us down, and they can score points fast. They have a good offense too. But their linebackers are always good. That's one thing I always give TCU is they always kind of have those two linebackers that are going to make plays. But last year I think we went against 51, and he was pretty good. So we'll see him again. I think he's the only senior on that defense right now. So he's got to be a stud.
I was going to say, they lost several people last year. They had seniors, they had some guys who left the program over the offseason. From your standpoint, as you prepare for TCU, what's the biggest difference in the defense that you'll see this year compared to last year's?
I think it's the biggest difference is just adjusting to new people, because we've seen a couple of guys over the years. We've kind of learned, how Tanner Brock's going to come, and before that, I always knew how Tank Carter was going to come, because I played these guys since I was a freshman when we went over there, and I mostly blocked then, so I kind of knew what their MO was. But now I just got to figure out these guys. I'm watching on film, just trying to figure out, if they're a speed rush, if they're going to try to run you over, what are they going to do? I know they have a couple guys that have been playing, and they're veterans in there, so you just got to watch film and get to know these new guys.